Our guest today played quarterback in the NFL for 10 years after being drafted by the Washington Redskins in the first round of the 2005 NFL Draft. He played his college football at Auburn and spent time playing for the Raiders, Bears, Browns, and Bengals as well. He is now a speaker and a member of the Auburn Radio Network team. I'm pleased to be joined by Jason Campbell right now on Unpacking It. Jason, thanks so much for being with us. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Can't complain.
All right. Well, we're glad to talk with you, and I want to hear all about your story. But just throughout your career, you experienced being a starter as well as a backup in the NFL. So what was that experience like, and maybe what don't fans maybe even realize just about the difference between a starter and a backup, the mentality between those two, and just kind of what your experience was like?
Yeah, from my experience of playing in the league in those positions where when you're a starter, you feel more comfortable. You get all the reps in practice that week. You know kind of what's coming. You get a chance to get in the groove of your game. But when you're the backup, you only run the other team's reps. And so you may get 3 or 4 plays a week where you run your offensive team reps. And you're not getting an opportunity to throw with the guys and build chemistry where you the starter. You get all the reps, you get all the chemistry. So it's harder to be a backup than it is to be a starter in the National Football League. I tell people that all the time. I say, yeah, you can come off the bench in the middle of a game and kind of get hot because the team didn't prepare for you. I said, and you can kind of sneak up on some people. I said, but, and it's harder if you come in the game, you're not into a rhythm, especially if it's a cold game. You're in Cleveland or Chicago and it's 10 degrees, it's hard to come off the bench for sitting for a quarter or 2 quarters to be thrust into a game and think you can just get hot real quick, because of the weather and everything. So it's differences in both of them, but it's harder as a backup because you have to prepare a lot harder. You have to spend extra time after practice, time in the film room, because you never know when you're going to have the opportunity to play. It's just like life. You just never know about the different circumstances and how life changes at times. And that's how you feel being a backup. You're always on edge because you just never know when in that moment you got to go in and play.
Wow, no, that's a really good perspective, and I'm curious too. What makes maybe the best combination between a starter and a backup? Because sometimes we'll see like a young QB with a veteran quarterback backing him up as kind of a support guy. Is there maybe a combination that works the best that you've experienced throughout your career when you played?
I've always been an advocate for having a veteran quarterback behind a younger quarterback. If you're going to bring in a younger quarterback to play, you want him to play early. I always say, well, you need somebody in the room with the kid that's gone through the trenches and someone that's played the game and had to go through the highs and the lows and how to prepare for a game and how to study film and, what you got to do to keep your body in shape, ice tubs and massages and just different things. And I've always said that a veteran can help a young guy. But towards the end of my career in the league, it seemed like the NFL started going away from that. They started putting younger guys with younger guys, and I was just like, you're going to have trouble because if the kids start to hit a wall, who's going to be there to give them advice? Because you took all the veterans out of the room because you got to a point where you didn't want to pay veteran quarterbacks. You better go get a younger quarterback and pay him a lot less money just from a salary cap standpoint. And you look at Philly, they was paying Nick Foles $5.5 million this year as a backup. Mm-hmm. But they had went in the room and they said to themselves, hey, if we had one game to win, can this guy win it for us? And they all agreed and said yes. And they ended up giving him that contract and everything. And he showed them why it was important for them to have that backup because you're always one play away from playing. And I always say you always got to have a guy, especially you got a good football team like a team like Philly. You don't want to have just a backup on the team that you're going to pay less money to just to have a guy there. Like, no, if the guy got to be called upon, you want to be able to depend on him. Your teammates want to be able to depend on him. So, I remember when I was with the Raiders in 2011, I was having one of my best years as a pro. And I ended up breaking my collarbone 6 games in. And, that's one of the better seasons Oakland has had since the Rich Gannon era. We started the season off, we was rolling and, we was hitting on all cylinders and we had a really good nucleus. And I can look around and say, man, this is going to be special for the next 4 or 5 years. And I'll say you get hurt right before the halftime, and then let's say you're in the hospital, and you wake up out of surgery, and they've already traded for Carson Palmer, who wasn't even playing at the time. He decided he didn't want to play for the Bengals that year, and they traded for him, and then they gave him my contract.
Oh.
And that kind of stung me hard because I was like, man, I'm 12-7 as a starter in Oakland. Y'all hadn't had a winning quarterback since Gannon, things are just turning out to go right for me. Like everything's hitting on all cylinders. Got a good young team. We're growing together. We're gelling together. We have a brotherhood. And then all of a sudden, one or two people make the decision to trade for Carson and bring him in. And then what stung was they gave him my contract. He was at home on the couch.
Yeah.
So I feel like I had earned my contract, and they took it from me. And that kind of stung me. And from that standpoint on, I started looking at the NFL from a totally different view. Like how you say, okay, you work hard, you do what you're supposed to do, and things will pay off for you. Yeah, that's true. But also you got to be in the right position with the right type of people that know what they're doing. Otherwise, your career and anything can be sidestepped. But I'm also a firm believer that things happen for a reason. I was engaged at a time in my life during that time with a young lady, and during that injury time, I had a chance to sit back and reflect, and I saw that we were incompatible.
Wow.
And we were unequally yoked and so many other things, and I was just like, man, like this is not the woman for me. I'm supposed to marry. Not that she's a bad person, she's just not the woman for me. So it gave me an opportunity. So I ended up having to, call off everything, the wedding and everything, maybe a month and a half before. And I remember I caught a lot of flack publicly from a lot of people and everything. And I was just like, you know what? I don't really care what other folks saying, because I know God has spoken to me at this point that this is not who I'm supposed to marry, and I'm going to stand firm with that. So,
wow.
Through that injury, that opened my eyes up to what was going on in my personal life. Because you talk about marriage, you want to talk about a lifetime.
Man.
So, yeah, I may have missed out on a bigger money contract, but I'd have been more miserable and going through more headache to something that has nothing to do with money at all.
Man. Wow. No, that's an incredible story. And we're talking with Jason Campbell right now on Unpacking It, and former NFL quarterback. And Jason, I want to talk more kind of about your story, and we'll get into even some of the things that you just mentioned in a second. But I did want to get people up to speed with kind of what you're doing now. And so you retired in 2015, played 10 years in the league. And so how has that transition away from the NFL gone? And what are you maybe most excited about what you're doing now that you're no longer playing?
Yeah, the first year out of the NFL was tough. A lot of it because from a competitive standpoint, you question yourself a little bit like, oh, man, I made the right decision by going ahead and saying that I'm done, because at the same time, and it didn't hit you until the game started playing. During the offseason, like, no, I'm good. But I think that was the competitive side of me. And then the other side was, some of the injuries and things that I had through my NFL career, and, missing the camaraderie of the locker room where you're helping young guys, and you're having that talk that only you can have in the locker room where other people outside the world can't relate to, because a guy that's younger than you can relate to that guy, so he's going to open up more to you maybe than he would a brother or sister, because you're living the same life that he's living. And, you may be going through some of the same issues and problems and everything, so he'll come to you for that advice. So I kind of missed that part of the game when I walked away, but I knew it was the right time. It wasn't my heart anymore. If I'm going to do something, I got to be 100% all the way in it. And football is something that you just don't walk on the field halfway in it and feel like you're going to have success. So, at that point I had prayed on it. I told the other teams that were trying to sign me, I said, look, I can't give it 100%, but I'm just going to walk away. And I chose to do that in 2015. And that led me to what I do now. I do a little bit of radio for Auburn Network during the football season.
Yeah.
And then I work with 12-year-olds, my nephews. I work with his little age group for basketball and football goes this time of the year. So it gives me an opportunity to relate to a lot of kids and being able to give back and, tell these parents that growing up now, because every parent that their kid going to approach her 5th grade, I'm like, look, kid's not going to jump from 5th grade all the way to the pros. I was like, let the kid enjoy the game. Let him have fun and enjoy it and grow. I was like, how you put so much pressure on him as a kid, he may grow away from the game. He may not even like it as much anymore because he never had that chance to just have fun. So I was like, let him have fun. I like, let the coaches coach and let him have fun. Don't put so much pressure on him. You got to do this or you got to do that. Like, let him learn. And I think that's given me an opportunity to talk to parents and be around them and everything. But that first year is tough, though. That first year out the NFL is tough. But now it gets better as you grow And as far as an injury standpoint, you still have to take care of your body. You have to nurse a lot of the injuries that you had in the pros that you still just deal with on a daily basis.
Oh, absolutely. Well, no, that's pretty cool that you've been able to go back to your alma mater and be a part of the football program on the radio side and just being around the team. So that's cool to hear. And so you've led us into a little bit of your football career and even one of the tougher seasons on the field and off the field, talking about being with the Raiders and what you went through personally with a fiance as well as an injury. And so let's kind of jump back into that story as far as really what you learned through that and what God revealed to you and ultimately how your faith, even today as you look back at kind of that season in life and the defining moment, I guess, or the defining season that it became for you.
Yeah, it kind of shaped me a moment. You always hear the saying when people say, things happen in life for a reason. If you accept it the right way and see it, then it's just molding you to become a better person. And then also, sometimes things doesn't happen the time you want it to happen because God has something better for you. And that's the thing. Like sometimes as humans, and we get impatient, and everything. We want to go ahead and make decisions so quickly because we feel like, oh, we're running out of time, or we're running out of, or my friends did it, or my friends doing this, and why I'm not doing this, or why this hasn't happened for me yet, and I'm so tired of being patient, I'm just going to be impatient. So you get to those aspects of your life, and sometimes you can do things out of time, and then all of a sudden God pumps the brakes and say, not right now. And sometimes you can find yourself frustrated. You be like, man, I'm not trying to stay out here in this single life. I want to be married. I want to have my family and all this type of stuff. I'm like, God, what is it? Why I can't have this? My friends are having it. Like, why I'm not having it? So then I feel like maybe I had rushed my decision to get engaged because of those reasons. And not understanding that, you marry the wrong person, you can be in a world of headache for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And, so that taught me from a lesson to just be patient. Like what's meant for you is for you. And no one can take that away from you. When God's ready for you to have that, you'll have that. And no matter how much you try to push it or force it, it's just not going to happen.
Man.
And you won't feel it naturally. So, through that, he's taught me a lot and everything. And there are people out there that's better for you. And there are someone that's for you, but you have to get that opportunity. Sometimes it's making those tough decisions when you're engaged or in relationships to have to walk away. And, but that was something I had to do. It was hard because you cared a lot for the other person. It wasn't just about me. It was for the other person too, because, they're just going through heartbreak. Maybe they don't see things the same way you see things.
True.
And everything. They don't understand it the way you do. So it makes things a little bit harder. But at the same time, you have to stand firm and strong and just know, like, look, God's going to take care of them just like he take care of you.
That's right.
So, don't be worrying about trying to fix everything. If he got you to that point, he'll fix that part as well. But the other person has to be able to receive it as well. And so it taught me a lot about life at that time. And sometimes I used to beat myself up and be like, oh, man, if I wasn't engaged to that person, then maybe I would have got my big contract, or maybe I would have been still starting for the Raiders and having a good career. And I'm just like, no, you're not supposed to live that way. I feel like sometimes we beat ourselves up as people and we never forgive ourselves. And, I held on that for a couple of years. And It just kept beating me up as a player and as a person. And, I just felt like I feel like I was attacking my own self. And I feel like going through that, it taught me a lot, because when I look back at it, I'm like, man, I've been beating myself up for years, but I got to stop this.
Yeah.
And I finally got to a point where I was like, okay, forget the past, forgive yourself, and look forward to the future. And just understand what God has given you is more than enough, because had I got the big contract or whatever, it may have changed everybody around me. It may have changed my life dramatically. Not in the way that I thought it would. It may have brought more problems and more issues that would have just been too much. And so I've gotten to a point in my life now where I'm content with what I have, and I'm content at where I'm at in my life and understanding that things are better and things will get better for me. And I just got to continue to believe that and trust in that and understand that and just not try to make those decisions on my own and not try to rush things and just live one day at a time and just be patient.
Amen. Wow, what a good word from Jason Campbell right now on Unpacking It, former NFL player, star at Auburn, and now working with the radio team at Auburn. And you mentioned that for a couple of years you were struggling to kind of let go of, oh man, things didn't go this way, or what if I would have done this differently? And I think people can relate to a similar mindset because we all wrestle through things from our past and things that ultimately we need to let go of and move forward with. How did you really get to that point? You said you got to that kind of turning point of finally realizing, all right, I don't need to dwell on this anymore. But what got you to that point?
It got me to that point because I kept looking at my life. I was like, okay, I keep worrying about the same thing over and over, and I'm stalemate. Like I haven't moved forward in my life because maybe I've been worrying about the wrong thing for too long. And, maybe I just haven't given it to God and said, I need help in this area of my life, and I'm so used to, as a quarterback, you're used to being in control of a lot of things, decision making on the field, the ball's in your hand, almost every snap, and, the way you prep and all that type of stuff. But in life, you're not in control of anything, like you can control some things, but a lot of it you can't. And it got me to a point where I just had to say, okay, I'm letting go of this hurt and this guilt that I put on myself for beating myself up and saying how my career didn't end the way that I thought it should have ended. I felt like my career was taken away from me in my prime years of my career. I was just turning 30 years old, and I was having the best, season as a pro, and we were winning. And I was just like, those are the things that propel you to keep being a starter. And to have to take a seat knowing that you're still good enough and to be out there playing and starting, but you have to sit on the sidelines and watch. That took a lot out of me because I felt like my prime years of my career, somebody just took it and yoked it away from me. And it wasn't, and the hardest thing that hurt me the most was it had nothing to do with my play. If it had something to do with my play, then I could have understood it a lot better. I could have dealt with it. I could have, accepted it. But the fact that I was playing really well and playing good, that what hurt me the most. And for that, I couldn't ever just understand that. And that just always stuck with me. And I always asked people, I was like, man, do you think I like, like why? And then I remember talking to somebody, I had a friend tell me, like, maybe if you kept starting or whatever, kept playing, maybe you got seriously injured. And maybe that seriously injured would hurt you for the rest of your life. And you may not be able to do certain things in life. So instead of you just harping on it, you might need to just accept it and know that God was protecting you from something.
Wow.
And just like he came and protected you from getting with the wrong person in a marriage, he probably did the same thing for you in your football life, where he looking at it like, I know you may not understand now, but there could possibly something could have been a whole lot worse than a broken collarbone had I kept playing. And, you see now where all the injuries that guys are dealing with from minds and everything, like you never know what God was protecting me from. So I had to stop putting guilt on myself and just say, you know what, you're right. Let me stop questioning what happened and let me be thankful for what happened and thankful it was just a collarbone and accept it because God could be protecting me from a more serious injury. So just accept it and move on and just understand that, man, God is in control. And I had to get to that point. And then in my personal life, you want the wife and the kids. I had to get to that point as well. Like, hey, that's all going to happen. But it's probably going to happen as soon as I stop worrying about it. Because worrying about it is not going to get me anywhere. So when I did that, it helped me in my life. It helped me start to see things differently. You have to make some tough decisions. And, you gain friends over the year, you lose friends over the year. But if a person is around you and they're not trying to help you grow, then you have to ask yourself, why are you here? And I tell people, like, it doesn't mean they have to make certain money or do certain things, but from a mentalist standpoint, a spiritual standpoint, are you trying to help me grow, or I'm trying to help you grow, or we trying to grow together? Like, what's your alternative? Like, no one's perfect and no one's a finished product yet. We're all working on some area in our life where we're weak at, or some area in our life where we're strong at, or we may feel like we're too strong at, and you need to be humbled down a little bit. So at some point in your life, everybody's working on something, and we all just don't know what it is, but and God knows what it is, and you just have to have that one-on-one conversation with him. Because I do feel like sometimes, people us as believers are, like, we can be too hard on other folks just because you see something on their life. And I remember being in church 2 weeks ago, and the pastor was saying, hey, how soon we forget where we were 3-4 years ago, when God started changing our lives, and then you start to pass judgment or condemnation on other people. And when you see where they're at, and they're like, no, you don't get the right to do that. That's not what you're supposed to do. Because sometimes you can deter people away instead of helping them through it and seeing them and showing them another way. That'll bring them closer. And sometimes we can push people away because sometimes people, I don't know, we don't do it perfectly, but sometimes we can feel like we're being judgmental, or you're, condemning on someone instead of understanding, like, look, everybody goes through a problem, or everyone's, if people have an addiction, don't beat up on them, try to get them help, try to talk to them, try to, lure them, spend some time with them instead of just talking about them and just push them out the door.
What a good word, man. So many great nuggets in there. And gosh, I could talk to you all day, because I appreciate your transparency and your heart and just your ability to reflect on what God has done in your life. And I find it very encouraging and inspiring to me, and I know to the audience as well. So man, Jason, really appreciate you sharing all that, and thanks so much for joining us on Unpacking It today. And I tell you what, we'll have to do this again, because there's so much more to unpack, but really appreciate all that you were willing to tell us today.
Yeah, appreciate it, Bryce. Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. There's Jason Campbell, former NFL quarterback, Auburn star quarterback, and currently working with the radio team at Auburn, and appreciate him joining us on Unpacking It today.